What's up and welcome to another Bills report. And it's time to talk a little shop here, man, because I want to talk about which Buffalo Bill from the 2022 draft class we think is going to have that biggest year two jump. And we know that's one of those things that is important, man, when you're talking about drafting players, developing them, and ultimately their growth throughout the organization and stuff like that. So when we look back on this class from last season, obviously, Kaiir Elam was the first rounder. James Cook, we took in the second round. Terrell Bernard was in the third. Khalil Shakir was our fifth rounder. In the sixth, we knew we had three of those guys. Only two of them stayed in terms of Christian Benford and Luke, not even Luke. Luke is gone with Green Bay. But then we also had Balin Spector. He was also, a part of that class. But when I think of the contributors that we had last season, obviously we know Kaiir, man, played in 13 of those things, started 6 of them games, and was really impactful down the stretch, man, causing some turnovers and stuff like that when the postseason hit. When you talk James Cook, started out rocky, but we saw how he was able to get it going, and then especially in the postseason, man, give us some productivity there and stuff like that. Khalil Shakir is another guy that I thought gave us some productivity on offense. Now with Terrell, it was more so a special teams element, but like I said, he'll get his opportunity coming up. But when I think of that year two leap, that okay, you're here right now, but now we're ready to really have our eyes opened up to you. The two guys that kind of stand out to me were Kaiir Elam and James Cook. Now, obviously, with both of those guys being, first and second round picks, they have more opportunities. But what I think of is the potential role expansion. When I talk Kaiir Elam, we know he started to really come on down the stretch. And I think that they're going to look to him to really solidify that other cornerback spot opposite Trey White. And I think that Kaiir is capable of that. He definitely shows some promising things. But then when you look at the running back situation, I think of James Cook and I say, man, he had a lot of productivity last season in the running game and in the pass game. We know Devin Singletary was also here splitting carries and sharing the load with him. What are we doing with Devin? If Devin is leaving, how are we replacing that productivity? We know we're not going to have a ton of capital to go out there and just spend in abundance. But at the same time, are we going to bring in somebody to compete with James Cook or ultimately be James' backup, his number two, and allow James to have the full reign to be our running back? I think with either one of those guys, they have real potential to take a massive step in productivity and in terms of how we feel about these players. But then a sleeper guy, the sleeper for me is Khalil Shakir, man. When you look at him, man, he's one of those guys that can create separation, has consistent hands. And when you look at him down the stretch, Josh is starting to find him, starting to build a little bit of a rapport there. Well, obviously, when we're thinking about the roster this offseason, we know, okay, we're probably going to be bringing something in or drafting something to just get a little bit more higher in or more consistency out of that number two receiver spot. But that still doesn't touch anything in terms of that slot role, that third receiver role. And I think that's where Khalil is going to have an opportunity to really emerge. You think about Cole Beasley and how he was trying to have that role. I feel like Khalil, that's the guy they want doing that. That's the guy they want playing that position right there. So I could easily see a scenario where for him, he starts to step up a little bit more and expand on his productivity. But I feel like I'm going to go with James Cook. I think that, number one, that's going to be the talk this offseason, man. We have to actually put more effort and more intention and planning into our rushing attack, into featuring our running game a little bit more without it always being Josh. And I think that James is going to be the guy to really take the lion's share of that. I also think that James is a really good player. And as you saw the year progress last season, you saw his productivity and his just overall understanding and development continue to emerge. I think that's going to happen again, man. But like I said, I'm excited about it, man, because it's James Cook, bro. If he can tap into what his other brother was doing, man, we're going to be all right. Let's be real about it, all right? So y'all let me know your thoughts on which, player from this class, man, is going to take that year two jump, man. It's really going to emerge for us. Drop it in the comment section. But either way, I appreciate you for tuning in, right? And until next time, baby, peace.